So, good evening or good afternoon. My name is James Demetriadis, Mayor of Town of Cromwell. I'm here with our fellow town councilors for a public hearing. I'll call the meeting to order at 4:15. Can I have a motion to waive the reading of the legal notice?
So moved.
Second, made by Jamin, second by Al, so I'm going to not read the full legal notice. At this time, citizens may present any comments they have on the capital improvement program as noticed on the 24th of February 2026, in the town legal records and in various publications. Does anyone from the public have any comments on the capital improvement program, which will be reviewed over the course of the next 3 days? Seeing none, I'll make a motion. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Made by Jamin, second by Paula. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of closing the public hearing, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. And now I'll take a motion to adjourn at 4:17.
So moved.
Motion made by Jamin, seconded by Al. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, we are adjourned until 4:30.
Go ahead.
What am I supposed to say? Where's the agenda?
Blind lead the blind. All right.
Where's the agenda? How do I get up?
Microphone, please. I put it on for.
I'm calling to order the special meeting budget workshop. Are there any citizen comments?
We're calling to order at 4:33 PM, and then we'll move on to citizens.
That's right. Thank you for the time, Amanda. Right. And we will move forward with the budget workshop.
If I may.
You may. Is that okay?
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here.
No.
I would just like to say that this budget was real tough. It's one of the toughest ones that I had as town manager. But I do want to say our staff did an outstanding job. The directors putting it together and their attention to the programs and projects that, our citizens have come to enjoy and that we want to continue to provide. When we get there, there are 3 changes in salaries that I'm going to be requesting. And after we deal with Mr. Spina's budget, we could brief you under 3, so you're aware. But again, I want to compliment Mr. Spina here with the Public Works budget, because as I said, this is one of the toughest ones with the amount of money that we projected that we're gonna have, especially in the area of capital non-reoccurring. So with that, thank you very much, and I'll turn it over to Madam Chair again. You got it, you started it.
What we'd like to start with, right?
Okay, we'd like to start with the Public Works Department and with Mr. Lou Spina, the Director of the Public Works.
You can either make the motion for the total number, so you can discuss it, and you go individually by divisions, even though it's one department.
It's 27.
What she needs to do is take and do the bottom number. Public Works Department,
Other,
do
yeah,
5
we're-
million.
27.
Motion is to fund the public works for
Yeah, it's on the- 5,389,571 dollars.
He doesn't have
What
that.
area is that?
It's just look
There
at
it
the
is.
first
Oh,
page
okay.
of public works.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
That's the very bottom right.
That's your number.
Are we making a motion?
Well, you
Okay.
could, if you,
Make a motion?
if you agree,
Yes,
A motion for what?
or if anybody has any
Um,
questions.
five million
I'd
three
like to
hundred
make a
eighty-nine
motion
thousand.
to fund $5,389,571.
Without discussing it?
Public Works.
Go back one.
From Public Works
go back
Administration.
one From the number 27, which is that Public Works
Yeah.
Administration.
Go back.
one page,
Thank
and see
you.
at the bottom the 5 million.
Oh. Okay.
So, once you get that, then
Yeah.
All right.
we need a motion in a second.
Would you approve it, to approve that total number?
Or is open for discussion?
We're not gonna go through,
Motion in a second,
Open for
and then
discussion.
discussion.
I think that's what it would be.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
we're not
motion,
making a motion to
second,
discuss it.
and discussion.
We're making a
You
motion
don't
to
call for-
discuss, not to accept.
Okay, a motion to discuss.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to discuss the Public Works Department, total public works in the amount of $5,389,571. Is there any discussion?
No, second,
A second?
Second.
now.
Is there
Now we
any
can talk.
discussion?
Yeah, now there is. Well, there could be.
And if you'd like, Mr. Spina and myself can go through each division.
Yes, that would be very good.
Yeah,
If
you
there's
have to go to
anything
the
he wants to
engineering
point out or
division
change.
next, and et cetera, et cetera.
You guys usually go in order, like?
No.
No? Just fire
I'm
them.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Whoever,
So,
okay, I'll start.
someone has to recognize, okay, go ahead.
I recognize Lou Spina from Wilcott.
Now they gotta recognize you to
No,
discuss.
no, any questions?
Lou, I see you have some equipment you're looking for in the highway department, or does that fall under vehicle maintenance division?
Okay. All right, we're, 27, and we're doing the, administration division.
Yep.
Do you have, are there any questions regarding that division?
I was just kind of curious, the last year's expense, I'm gonna have a lot of these, so forgive me. Just the departmental expense, it went from 4,576 last year to 6,000 being recommended this year. Is there a particular reason? Just general inflation, et cetera?
No, I myself, the last few years have been, I'll say dormant with trainings and that type of networking. I did take advantage this past December of the CCN training, and I'm gonna look forward to maybe getting some other certifications that get more involved with APWA and a couple of the Casio and a few other
right, so mostly that increase is gonna go to training or something. All right, well, thank you, Lou, appreciate it.
Thank you.
And actually, to answer part of your question, he's getting 7,000 this year, and taking note of what you said, I reduced it to 6.
And the rest of the bulk of that increase is, in this department, it's just mostly regular structural salary increases?
The increase is due to salary adjustments, which are contractual, and then, we're anticipating based on feedback from our uniform supplier. I pay for the uniforms for the whole department out of this, and they said they're anticipating a 5% increase, so that's what I'm doing.
Thank you once again.
Are there
Any
any additional
additional-
questions
yeah.
regarding administration?
Nothing?
That's part of the COLA, correct?
Excuse me?
That's, the administration, that increase is part of the COLA, cost of living.
Wages are.
Yes,
That's the
yeah,
wage part.
yeah.
Yeah,
So we have no control over that to begin with.
no.
The next division is the engineering division.
He's looking for $10,000 more?
Again,
Yes.
there's two staff in there, the town engineer and the assistant engineer. There's two, whatever the bargaining unit raises in there. And I think you'll see, for the most part, everything else is fairly flat.
Yeah, the increase, just so everyone knows, for this one is a 4% increase over last year? Okay.
The increase, there's 10,000 in capital items, and that was for some phase 2 environmental analysis that John would like to do for some parcels of land.
I'm gonna ask you an early question. We're not at that particular number right now, but we will be. Any concerns, that's probably gonna sound like a stupid question. Any concerns about the price of fuel?
We're locked
The
in.
good news is we locked in. We locked in December for unleaded. We're locked in until December 31st, so we're.
So we have a year of a specific
It
price.
could affect diesel because
Yep.
that's a fiscal year. Unleaded is on the calendar year, diesel's always on the fiscal year. So
Okay.
We're locked in right now on diesel and on
We're
leaded.
locked in until June 30th.
Right, for diesel and until December for the other.
December 31st
Okay.
for unleaded.
I was thinking about it last night when I was going through this. I thought, oh, boy.
Yeah.
So, good. Excellent thinking.
Why is fuel going up?
Fuel has,
That's
Oh,
what I've
yes.
heard,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, a little bit,
Why?
like $1 something a gallon more.
so far, yeah.
Fuel oil.
Who knows where it can go from there? We'll see. All right. Any additional questions on the engineering piece?
One just minor, only for probably my own edification, but is there a concern and a cost associated with the major permit modification for the MS4?
For a permit modification,
Yeah, do you,
not that I'm.
no, okay.
John handles
Just
it
started.
for- He has it if there are, I'm sure if he has.
Public
I'm sure
Works.
he can convey it.
Yeah, because
Number
there's
27.
nothing reflected in the budget that
27.
says that, so I assumed that, but I just was curious.
We're engineering.
Anything that he's responsible for, if he anticipates an adverse change, won't be.
Yeah, okay.
That share.
That's what I
I have
thought.
not heard, so let's hope no news is good news.
Yeah. Thank you, Lou.
Yes, thank you, you're welcome.
Go to Southwest.
Okay, so we'll move next then to solid waste number 29.
If I may, I didn't see it, but in the packet, as far as, since we started doing curbside picking up, I know we charge for it, but also put an extra person on. Can the town manager explain, did we go to the black or to the red with that, as far as sending two gentlemen out to do the curbside picking and what it costs us to do the pickup.
We're in the red.
Yeah.
And that person was put on actually before we did that.
Well, you have, I didn't say when he was put on. It's the idea, you got two men going out, there's not one man, there's two men, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, yeah.
The main reason was to provide a service to our citizens that normally it would not be provided, for those individuals that don't have trucks or, a means to get those types of items to our transfer station.
For a fee.
Yeah, but we don't, we charge a nominal fee, we don't.
What was I didn't see it in here, what was the total, I know it's a nominal fee, but was there any revenue generated, like, do we know how many trips were, I know it was, like, how many trips were generated, how many?
3,000 and change. for
Okay,
the year.
and how many trips does that generate as far as, like, residents that use the program or utilize the program?
How much money to bring in?
3,000, they said.
So each item is about $10, so that's telling me that they picked up about 300 items, you know, whether there's one, probably a lot of stops are just one, a couple of them are multiple, so maybe a $20, $30, $40 stop if, say they cleared out the whole living room set.
Gotcha.
I can say it was very helpful, because we used
I
it.
think it's very beneficial, as the town manager alluded to, we have, you know, the elderly or people that don't have the means of loading up or borrowing or don't own a pickup truck, and, you know, I think it's a service that's invaluable. They'd be hiring someone else for a much larger fee. So it wasn't designed to be a revenue enhancer or even to be revenue neutral. It's just designed to capture a little bit of the cost and more importantly, provide the service at a nominal fee to the residents that aren't in a position to do it themselves.
There's no breakdown as far as the man hours spent out there, technically. There was the two gentlemen going out there.
So generally, he does them on Wednesday and or Friday morning, and again, this time of year, it may be a little quieter, but in the spring, when people start cleaning out garages, basements, they're out there usually every Wednesday and Friday for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours doing that. When they're done, then there's, you know, they handle all the other maintenance-related activities, you know, cleaning up the transfer station, hauling leaves out, hauling grass out, whatever's, so the days are filled, but if, you know, if you're asking specific to that task, it's usually 2 to 3 hours on a Tuesday and or Friday morning. And when if there's caught up, so to speak, up there, then staff, will hop on them over and help other departments as needed.
Nothing, I definitely have nothing against the way the transfer station itself runs. And it's always clean up there and well-maintained, no question about that at all. He does a very good job up there, but my main concern was it profitable, or do we lose money for going out there spending two gentlemen? Plus, I know we bought a truck, I think that has a power tailgate on it.
Yes.
I'm not saying they're cheap, not saying they're expensive, but for the first year or two, for what it cost us, was it feasible for us, for the money we
I think
generated?
if you look at the revenue that's taken in within a year or two, you'll probably recover the money invested on the liftgate and or the trailer that they use to do that service.
In its truck?
We always had a truck.
The trucks, correct me if I'm wrong, trucks are always handed down from the Parks Department or Highway Department.
That's not
Except when
correct.
Carl got it, Carl got one new one, if I'm not mistaken, at one time. And now, at the transfer station, you have one new vehicle that did not come out of the fleet, that was bought separately.
The transfer station got a new vehicle.
Yes.
Previously, and the reason he took the hand-me-down is Mr. Spina requested, Parks needed a vehicle, so the deal was that we'd give the new vehicle to Parks that was scheduled to be for the transfer station. The transfer station for 1 year took the Parks vehicle, and then at the end of that year, Mr. Spina bought the transfer station the vehicle.
From the Parks.
No,
They bought it outright.
no.
No, the parks
Pickup
got,
truck.
the parks got the vehicle from,
No, pickup
the
truck.
transfer station.
No, the other way around,
It was-
other way
The
around.
transfer station was slated to get the pickup truck.
Right.
A new pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Spina requested that Parks get the new pickup truck because their truck, because of what they do, they wanted to, we tried to get another year out of it. So we gave the new truck to Parks,
Yeah.
took the Parks vehicle for the transfer station with the intention of a year later getting the transfer station the new vehicle, which we did.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with Parks other than we let them get a vehicle sooner rather than a year later.
No, this is just particularly on the solid waste subject, not with the Parks Department. I understand where you're
but
coming.
the reason, it was a year later that transfer station got the vehicle, they were supposed to get the vehicle first,
Mhm.
not Parks. But Mr. Spina made a request, and I agreed with him, we'd give the vehicle to Parks and Grounds, and then let their vehicle go over for a year to be used, and then transfer station would then get the vehicle, a new vehicle. And that's the way it worked out.
That has a CW marker plate on it?
They all have CW.
I hope so. That's the question I'm just asking, Tony. That's all. But thank you, Lou. I appreciate that.
Okay. So next, I had a couple, any questions from my left?
I've got one.
Go ahead, Brian.
I see that the overtime wage ask is 9,000, and the actual expenditure from last year was almost 4. What's the reason for the doubling in?
So now there's 2 full-time, staff members there, and, so vacation, personal time, we have, summer hours, usually in May or June, we'll stay open late on Thursday evenings to provide a service through the, spring with, some residents can't make it there before 3:30 during the week. And, but it's just coverage for the now 2 full-time employees instead of 1, and,
How long have we had how long have we had 2 full-time employees?
it's been 3 years, a couple of years now, yeah.
Because we only spent 3,992 in overtime last year.
Yeah, if you look a couple of years back, it was 7,300. I don't know why it did, maybe they didn't, request, maybe they just took them during the week and, but if they put in for whole weeks and long weekends, it does incur overtime on a Saturday.
No. That was to, December 31st, 2025, 3,992. And actually, the current
that's what I have
overtime to
here.
date is 7,584 as of
You're looking
today.
at a 6-month total then.
Oh, because we're going to July. Yeah, you're right.
So how often, I guess to Brian's point, how often are these 2 or 3 employees there? 2. How often are they floated over to other departments for manpower for overtime? Is
Monday
it
and Fridays.
Mondays
if
and Fridays?
requested.
Wednesdays and Fridays.
I mean, Wednesdays.
If requested, and that's overtime that they're floated over?
No.
Or is it straight
Not
time?
overtime.
So on a weekly basis in the, I'll say spring to fall season, they assist with, about a year and a half ago, I took some right-of-way mowing away from the park department to make them more self-sustaining, if that makes sense, to lessen the load. They seem to be having complications, keeping afloat, so I removed, probably a day's worth of mowing from them. And that is done by highway and solid waste. So after they do their special collections on Wednesdays and Friday mornings, assuming they have them on both, and it typically is in the warmer months, they get into some mowing, and then if that's completed, or when that's completed, say on a Friday, occasionally when all that mowing is done, if Parks and Grounds needs added assistance to get ready for the weekend, they'll do some mowing in addition to the right-of-ways that were already removed from them.
Parks and Grounds, would that entail even the town hall property?
Yes, it's all the athletic fields throughout town, it's all of our greens, Valor Green, St. John's Green, Crossing PD,
Shrubbery around the building, shrubbery around the town hall too?
around Town Hall, Frisbee Park, all over, yeah, all,
Thank you.
any town open space.
Most of this is usually Saturday replacements
Yeah.
for the two full-time that goes to overtime for people from highway or other divisions to cover for them.
Any other questions to my left? Sorry, Brian, I didn't mean to take your thunder.
What is the schedule of the transfer station? It's open 3 days a week or two?
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
So if
So the,
one, so when those staff members now take vacation or PA or sick occasionally, there is an overtime cost on Saturday. We absorb it on, again, as the departments support each other, typically during the week, if they say they take the whole week off, there's no overtime obviously on Tuesday and Thursday, because I'll move someone from highway or building maintenance or whoever over to pick up that slack.
so what is done on the days that the transfer station isn't open, other than the mowing, float?
Pickups, mowing, emptying out the facility, hauling leaves out of there, hauling grass out of there, any house cleaning that needs to be done, pick
We
it up.
take that, we take the leaves and clippings somewhere? Is there a,
To Nooks Hill, Canadas Farm.
oh,
Similar to almost what Brian's talking about. These two gentlemen, are they getting the normal hours that the rest of the townspeople get, like the highway department and the parks department? I think your weekly is what, 35 hours a week? 40?
The field courses are 40, yes.
And those two,
They all work 40 hours.
okay. Just for knowledge, thank you.
Any questions to my right?
No, sir.
Mr. DeProto.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Kind of once again, I see that like the public works supplies materials kind of increased quite a bit. From 3,689 to 7,000, is that training?
Supplies and materials. See what you put in there.
Yeah, but, their budget is currently 6,800, their current budget.
It's just a 2%,
So, yeah, they're
$200
doing a
increase.
200.
Well, it says actual expenditure, sorry, so that's, sorry, sorry about being unclear on that.
Yeah, so the first column is what they're budgeted currently.
Okay, yeah, but I'm just wondering, so you actually spent less, but you're planning to spend more this year, or is it just?
So if you look back a couple years ago, they spent 5981. I don't, and last year was a little down, but that they typically buy, what power tools, safety apparel, gate locks. He wants to do more fencing repairs. I think is what he
Okay.
asked. But there's some areas of the fence up there that are a little weathered, and I think he was wanted to do some fencing repair. Was the reason
Yeah,
for the-
okay, so that ties into what you were saying above, all right.
If you look in the-
Okay.
Yeah, fencing repairs because people have smashed into it.
Yeah.
All right, then,
If you look at the budgetary change, fixed repair fences around bulky waste cans.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, up
That's
above
what
on,
the
yeah.
increase is for, yep.
And then, on the tipping fees, I know that's not something that we can control, but it's, like, it goes up every year, I don't know if,
It does.
Is there
It's-
any-
It's volatile, the solid waste, landscape, if you will, over the last few years, Mira, CRA closing, a lot of this stuff gets carted. When I put this budget request together, I reach out to all waste and there's a difference in their budget cycle compared to ours, so the best we can do is they say, Lou, nothing scary now, anticipate a few percent. And in most cases, it works out that way. There's been a couple years over the last 5 or 6 where it was bigger than a couple percent. So, and I will say, and we say this every year, that I know what other towns are paying for bulky waste, and for whatever reason, they treat Cromwell very good. We're on the favorable end of a lot of the pricing that they issue compared to other towns. I think one of the owners used to live in town, and he has a soft spot on it, and that's the truth.
All right, well, thank you. One last one, if I may?
Just ask will you allow me to ask
Yeah,
a
of
follow-up
course,
to your
of course, of
follow-up?
course, yeah.
So is that 309 number that Jamin just pointed out, is that the quote, is that the actual quote you got for this upcoming year? You were saying that some of your,
So last year, he told us, 12 months ago, he told us to expect a, 5 or 6% increase, and it didn't go up that much, but he seems to think that, there's gonna be a little bit of an increase this year, so, again, and they set their budget, I think it's by April 1st, so for the next 4 weeks, we hope that that's a good number, and, I guess if he gets to me before, say, the Board of Finance, or it comes back to you guys, and there's anything different than that, I'll share it with Tony, and perhaps we'll discuss it again.
Yeah, my only request, and then Jamin, I'll give you back your time, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Is that if that number ends up coming in 4 weeks and it's lower, and we have a more solid quote, I think that's an opportunity for the Board of Finance to adjust appropriately based off of more contemporaneous information.
I don't know how much lower it'll be, Mayor, because if you look at the last 2 years, 270.
Yep.
270, and then this 115 doesn't include December, so that's basically 5 months, so, divide by 5, divide by 5 and multiply them by 12, and you're pretty close to that 309.
Yep. Go ahead, Jamin, sorry.
All right, mine, last one. The contract service town expense, is that what that means?
Yep.
What does that mean, and why is that increasing?
So, there's a lot that comes out of that. That's pretty much all the services that we offer at the transfer station, so.
Okay.
There's the deep general permit in there, there's oil testing, there's our bulky waste pickup with the hauling, there's hazmat in there, there's waste oil filters, recycling of grass, we pay for our leaf disposal out of there, so that's a collage of a lot, it's just a meshing of a lot of different costs associated with the solid waste removal.
All right, well, thanks for your answers, appreciate it.
Ann?
I just had, again, a question on the tipping fees. I understand the whole, complexity of this issue and what's happened with the state and mirror closing and all of that, and the transport of trash out of state. But are there other programs that the state or other towns have utilized or thought about that have helped to reduce the amount of trash that we are, that you have found to be effective? I know this is a very controversial issue.
So there's obviously public awareness and education, which we try to do. There's we've done a voluntary food composting program. Yeah. So, we got a grant a few years ago. We got some receptacles for that. There's, we each year, the last few years, and we increased it again this year, we're putting more of our leaf collection aside and composting it up, offering it back to residents. So we actually pay a little less to Fairweather Acres for taking the leaves, because we're pulling some out of it, but we have to rent a little parcel of land to do that on. We don't own a permitted, you can only compost leaves on a DEP permitted site, and unfortunately, on that parcel, so any way we can to pull it out and reuse it and give it back to the residents in that case, try to take advantage of it.
Is there an opportunity to do more? I love the food scrap program, and I applaud the town and you for initiating that. I know that food scraps can be 30 to 40% of the weight of our waste. So is there a way to increase that with residents?
I think.
I find it super easy. I don't know why everybody's not doing it.
I think what I found over the years, because years ago, I was the solid waste superintendent in the city of Waterbury for a long time, so I used to go to the schools, and you wouldn't believe how effective it is when you educate the kids.
Yeah.
And start pulling food scraps out of even before schools here, you'll tipping fees. Unfortunately, more than half of the fees associated with that is hauling, and they're still gonna charge you for coming out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it'll, over time, if the kids get on board with it and go home and discuss it with the parents, and maybe they'll take the town up on the voluntary.
I know that has been done in Middletown, and it was, made a difference. So I'm just wondering if there's opportunities, maybe with our work with Sustainable CT, or, you and your departments, maybe there's additional ways that we can get more residents aware of the benefits. And I love the idea of kids.
I know
Kids
that,
will do it.
And again, coming from a big city background, the recycle numbers in a town like Cromwell are probably triple the inner city, because we got owner occupied houses that get it a little more, they know it affects them. So when, I used to go up to the deep every year, and they would discuss the solid waste crisis. They knew this was coming for 15 years, unfortunately. And, but a town like, where I live, a town like Cromwell, I think the residents do better than in the big cities. And is there more opportunity? There probably is. And certainly, little ways that we can make it more sustainable.
Just say they do a great job, so I'm not being critical at all.
Yeah, no, I understand.
It's just questions
Jack,
for
any
us to
questions
think
from
about.
you? Jamie,
We
go ahead.
also encourage, because of the success of
We have,
Mr. DeProto, sorry, Jamie.
No worries, thank you. Again, I also wanted to say, like a lot of people have said, I like the town, what they're doing at the transfer station. They do a great job down there. I'm grateful for having it. And I really like how you report on what you dispose of by year as well. But when I was looking through this, I was like, looking at tires. I don't know, did we have like NASCAR come through or something? We went from, we went from 100 and, okay. Is it,
you gotta understand, even now, you buy new tires, they're charging you an environmental fee or recycling fee. So
yeah.
some people might say,
Yeah, again, glad we have our transfer station.
because we allow so.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jimmy.
Kind of similar thing. You list NiCad batteries, but and of course, because they're not really used anymore, there aren't any. Do you have any idea about lithium polymer cells? Because there's, a lot of recoverable, valuable metals in there. I don't know if there's any idea what's going on there.
Used to get $5 a quart.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, is that reported? It's not reported in here as far as being explicitly stated. Maybe it goes under electronics e-waste, I don't know, but.
it could be also electronic possibly.
Okay. Yes, yes. Because they have cobalt and other things in there that are not very nice, but also valuable. So I was wondering if that's being recovered somewhere.
So maybe something that would be helpful in future years, maybe having underneath performance data, if there's revenue being generated from the recycling of some of these things, it may be helpful for us to be able to say, the lithium batteries have generated X, the, whatever it is, the resale of Q has had Y, reimbursements from the state for mattresses are P, just so we can get a better handle on the other end of it. Scrap metal is this. And to one of the questions that I think Anna asked, with the food scrap program, we're at 8,700 pounds. We were at 2,640 pounds the year before, so, it's ramping up pretty quickly. Do we sell that compost that we get from that? What do we do with the food scraps? I just don't remember. Is that?
It gets picked up.
It gets picked up, okay. And I know that she mentioned the schools. Does someone from the transfer station have a partnership with the schools to do that continuing education?
I'll definitely speak with staff there, and if they haven't had conversations, or we haven't had conversations
Yeah.
with the board of ed,
Yeah, if they have, that's great, and I think we should advertise that kind of continuing education program if it occurs. Because I imagine a lot of the town tipping fees the schools probably generate quite a bit of trash on their own, so if there's food waste.
And again, just like I said, we do pay someone to come pick it up, so these are great ideas, and great programs. The problem with it is in the beginning, it may actually be adverse, because you're still gonna pay for them to drop the dumpster in place for it, and you're still gonna, unless we can figure out a way to get it from the schools to our transfer station and maybe mitigate the cost, but, each time they send a truck out, they're gonna charge you a hauling fee, so I guess once it catches on, you start maximizing, the return on your investment, so to speak, but early on, it can actually be in the red, so.
Okay. And then
I don't believe the schools are separated right now.
so I think that's right, the schools, we pay for the school's waste, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
So it would be an opportunity to save,
So, yeah, we would save on the tipping fee, not necessarily the hauling, because if we.
yeah, but still,
They're usually going up to a dumpster and it weighs a ton, but now because it weighs, 1,500 pounds or 1,800.
sure.
Couple hundred pounds lighter.
I think I know that 40% of the waste that's hauled is normally food scraps or something that's disposable. So if we can divert it, short term, it may be a little bit of pain to retrain people, but it's our own buildings, it's our own schools, and I think that's a good investment.
See what literature's out there for the schools, and then we'll talk to the administration.
The new superintendent.
Yeah, and then my other question that I had was, with regards to gasoline and fuel, I know right now, this week, it's going up. Is there a flat percentage you apply to every department, like 10% in every department, or is it variance by departments? Sorry. Yeah.
We locked in our own
Okay,
calendar year.
you good.
We're locked into last December.
December 31st.
How'd we do? We locked it in lower?
We're actually about 12 or 15 cents less than last year.
I love it. Okay, great. Thank you. If there are no more questions on solid, go ahead, Mr. Waters.
Last, the money that the town collects for the permits from every resident for their card to go there, any idea what the revenue is that to possibly offset the costs, some of the stuff here that's what we're looking at?
So we generally bring in, I forget the numbers. I have a spreadsheet in the office. I could let you know what that number is. Where does it go back to the general fund?
Yeah, so I can tell
But
you
it's
that.
all lump.
It's all, so I only have the total transfer station revenue, I don't have, the different categories. But last year, the transfer station brought in $66,520 in revenue.
That's permits plus
Everything is
the pickup, curbside pickup and that.
Can you say that number again?
66,520 was last year's.
But I wanna say this again, we charge far less than other municipalities around us. So if we're gonna start looking at charging comparable to other municipalities, we can certainly bring in more revenue, but the bottom line is you won't be seeing $25 permits for the residents. You're gonna be looking at $100 permits. Because that's about how much other municipalities are charging. If not, we're charging by the pound using scales
That's expensive
for the residents. Yeah.
for the town to put the scales in there.
No, they're portable.
All right.
Do we find that it's an issue? Are we losing our shirts with a transfer station? That You know what I mean? Is it worth taxing the townspeople, 75% more on a ticket, on a pass for something that we offer now? Is it feasible to leave the fees where they are, considering our taxes are going up pretty high to begin with, with everything else that we're doing?
The decision that's been made by the legislative body of this town for years is that they,
Keep the costs low.
yeah, they keep all the, not only at the transfer station, it's almost everything we do. And we do a lot of stuff that other municipalities charge for that we don't charge for.
We also want to encourage people to use it. I've been in other towns where
Well,
they
that's the
just
thing,
like
how many
garbage
people
all
are you
over the
gonna lose
place.
if you go to $100?
See it all in the streets.
You're gonna cut it in half, probably.
Yeah, right there, I think now it's geared towards providing the service for any resident that wants to take advantage of it.
Right.
If you start making it more costly, you run the risk of probably seeing a little bit more illegal dumping.
We'll see it all.
Therein lies the other problem, right?
Occupied area, under 91 on Evergreen,
Yeah.
there's less houses and less.
Right,
subdivision.
right.
That's what happens typically. And you'd like to think it wouldn't happen in this town, but I'll tell you.
It will.
based
Oh,
on-
no, I've seen it.
Based on the litter picking we do, it's amazing how much stuff is out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Hearing no other questions, we can move on to the highway division. The total proposed increase, the town manager recommendation here is $1,632,815. Mr. Spina.
So, again, aside from, there's 11 employees there, so there's, wages on up a little bit. This is a contract year, right?
Yeah, but that would be as a result of steps.
Right, so raising wages because of.
Right now, the wages are not in there because we're in negotiations, but steps are.
Make sure I got the right sheet here. Did we?
30.
Did we adjust that overtime?
I think so. And I gave you the current wages.
Okay, I don't think I got it in there, so it's,
I adjusted the number.
163,215, correct?
Correct.
So, other than that, I asked for a slight increase in our tree work, because that's an account that, we really, we looked last year, we spent $60,800, and this, again, this December 31st doesn't include, that's only 5 months, and we did 25,000 worth of work in late December, early January, with some dead trees around town, so this is one every fall or every end of the fiscal year. I'm actually backing off work because there's more work than we have money to pay for, so, we do in the winter, do a lot of tree work in-house, when the bucket truck is up. This is just stuff that's above our, comfort zone, if you will. And other than that, I tried to keep everything, relatively consistent here.
Let me start with Paula, and then we'll sweep to the right. So Paula, any questions on the highway division? Brian, any questions on the highway division? I could also come back to you if you need more time.
Any concerns with the overtime wages? I know that this snow has got us plagued a little bit.
Yeah, that would be the one line, and we did adjust it.
We went up a little bit.
So, hopefully that.
We have concerns for this year, but it just means that we'll be looking.
No, it's year to year.
Areas of the department to make up the,
Yeah, because currently we're at 99,000.
Yeah.
and we're not out of the woods yet.
No.
We're close, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
This also, just so you know, it doesn't only fund winter operations. When we, get into pavement in the spring, if, generally staff will come in a little bit early to be on the, we're in the meet the contractors by 7 a.m. We'll get our traffic pattern set up. We run a little late, and anything that, obviously
Okay, great. Mr. Waters, go ahead.
Lou, you mentioned the tree work, the bucket truck. We spoke about this last year. Could you please, for the sake of the town employees, put proper lighting on those? Because I watched them go down Main Street hanging flags, and people want to smash into it. You know, I'm talking about the green lights like the state has, to make it more pronounced. And plus, the signage they put up there, like the other companies who come, we hire in, they got signage up there saying work ahead or flagman. Now look at that. It's just, the guys are up in that bucket truck, somebody comes along and smacks it. Those guys are up, one of them's in the air. I just prevented me.
So there's lighting on them, and I know you've been advocating for this last few years. Anything new we order, and I do agree, the green stands out better. So anything we've bought over the last few years, we include that. But to retrofit, you're talking a few $1,000s per truck. So
One life, Lou, one life.
they have lights in them that were.
Life.
Safety.
Life. That's my point. So
We'll look at it.
nobody's gonna get hurt, that's my concern.
We'll look at it.
Maybe the end of the year, we could start doing, a couple here and there, but
He's only asking the bucket trucks. We'll take a look at it, but the employees should be putting out the signage advising the traffic that they're work ahead.
Not arguing with the signage 100%, it's more
I
of,
think with the flags, it's because they're movable, they're boom, they're stopping, they're going. If they're set up to do tree work and they're gonna be there for, more than 3 minutes, they usually set up the traffic.
but I'm a fanatic about those lights because they can be seen a mile away. Compared-
Listen, all those snowstorms we just had, and I'm here and I'm on the state roads, I like the green myself.
If it could save one, if it could save one injury or one life, it's worth it for that one truck.
I agree.
Thank you. No further.
Okay, Mr. Hennigan.
Gas and fuel, I just have a quick question here. I noticed, let's see, end of the year, the $61,000 number, and then I saw town manager recommendation, 57,000. I was just wondering what's the,
Which line was that?
gasoline and fuel?
So, as I said earlier, this year, we locked in at like 15 cents less a gallon.
Oh, so we've got that
Yeah,
advantage.
So based
Okay.
on our annual fuel consumption, we had a little bit of a positive impact.
It
This
will.
is- this
So
is one
about
of the
5%,
larger-
we're gonna,
This is one of the
not bad.
largest, this department's one of the largest users of fuel, so
Yep.
this one you see a little bit of.
Okay, good, thanks.
We were shooting for, we use about 45,000 gallons a year, and we were shooting for 10 cents to save 4,500, so.
Mhm.
You'll see even some of the other smaller budgets, there's a $200 savings based on that 15 cents a gallon.
All right, good, thanks, Lou.
And
Worried about the fuel.
Jamin.
All right, once again, I've got a question about the departmental expenses. It went from actual expenditure was 2,940 this past season to 6,000. Is that more training is,
Yes, so we had 4 retirees in this department over the last 12 months, and a lot of the staff we just brought on is very interested in attending. UConn has what they call the Public Works Tech 2 Center, does, all kinds of general public works safety courses, flagger training, roadmaster, road scout, so the new staff is interested and, they wanna go to the,
all right, thank you. I know from my time on finance, usually I see the number for cost for paving. I don't see, is that not in here, or am I missing it?
So we do have, in the CNR, we'll discuss road improvement fund. and-
Okay.
And then sometimes we'll take a little bit out of this and the spring paving as well to, supplement it.
Thanks once again.
Okay, a couple questions that I had. Can you just talk us through, what the contract services and the PW supplies and materials that you're anticipating for this year? Those are large line items, and there's not a lot of detail behind, what that item goes to. So could you just talk through, what are you looking to spend that on?
Some of the contracted services of it, we take a portion of that to supplement the paving. We used to do some crack sealing, which now we do in-house, but we just, the new highway superintendent, found a new product that we're gonna try and use in the spring, some acrylic road improvements. It's actually a good way of patching, and we did a demo in the fall on Pasco Hill, on Willowbrook. So stuff, services that we'd like to take advantage of that we may not necessarily have the equipment and or training to do ourselves.
And then, you know what, actually, on that same topic, because these line items are so large, would it be possible to have a summary provided once a year of just what the contract, like, what the contracted services were for the year, with a breakdown of how much they all cost, just so we can track it, and have a little bit of a better ability to defend that number should the public ask. You know, I see a line item here for $285,000. What are you contracting for that can't be done in-house? And we go, catch basins. And they go, oh, how much did that cost per catch basin? And we go, we don't know. So I think it's just would be helpful to have that data, because that is a really large number. And when we're talking about a budget like this, where we know the middle school is gonna be coming on board and there's gonna be a tax impact, every $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 is gonna start counting once we get to the end of our budget review. And so having numbers that don't have, it's not that it's not being used, it's just that we don't have the details. And it doesn't have to be all the invoices, right? It can just be a rundown of, here are the contracted services and the work they provided. It's just helpful. And then I see under, as the attachments, there's 3 attachments. Are these all for the same, quotes for the same product? There's a True Green commercial, a trailer depot, and a H&H steel tilt deck. Are these 3 quotes for the same product?
That was for the capital item, the trailer, he got three prices, I believe.
Okay, if that's for the 10,000, so we'll do all the capital projects at the end.
Well,
No, that's in
small
the budget.
capital,
Oh.
anything under what, 12,000 or 12,500 goes to
12,500.
operating, and then.
Oh,
You see here.
the 8,000. Okay, so the 8,000 is the small capital. So what is this object that they're looking to buy for the 8,000? I don't know what it is.
No, that's small equipment.
Yeah.
Capital item is 10,000.
Okay, so talk me through the 3 attachments and what they are.
So it's a 6-ton, it's one item that they're hoping to buy for 10,000. It's a 6-ton trailer. Their explanation was to move the roller and other small equipment around. I guess the one we have up there is decades old and,
Needs to be replaced. Those 3 items you're referring to are quotes for the trailer.
Okay, so the True Green quote, the Trailer Depot quote, and the High Country quote here, NEM quote, are all for the same thing?
Yes.
So the True Green one is, the quote was 2,485.
True Green is like a roadside spray. That's kind of.
Oh, this is, okay.
That they do like, they do some type of spraying. True Green is spraying.
Okay, so one is $7,300, that's the one we're going with, because it's the low bid of the 2 that are here?
Could be, yeah, if that's what they're satisfied with it. He put the number in and got the backup later.
Okay, so that's what the 8,000 is going towards, got it. And then the other capital item, we'll do our capital items at the end? Or that's a small capital item, so so if the 8,000 is for the H&H steel tilt deck, what's the 10,000 for?
The 10,000 is the trailer, the 8,000 is for any equipment they need through the year. If they need to
Got it.
replace
So-
a backpack blower or a weed whacker,
So there's actually not 3 bids for this, there's backup, one for each. So this, the NEM goes to the small equipment replacement. The capital item goes to the 8,999 for the trailer with a little bit of wiggle room there. And then where's the 2,485 for True Green captured?
the True Green will come out of contracted services.
Okay, so,
I didn't see that.
yeah, so then that begs, back to my initial question, we have 285 for contract services. If we're asked by the public, hey, what's that entail? We can say, well, we can tell you what $2,485 of it is, but it just kind of begats back to that question, because, again, and we've had this debate here before, you know, whether you cut $10,000 or $20,000 from a line item, or whether you let it roll over to be next year's capital non-reoccurring, when we're already starting at a deficit of 1 mil, 1.5 mil from the middle school, you know, I really think every dollar counts, and being able to ensure that every line item has enough scrutiny to it that we can look a taxpayer in the eye and say, hey, we are confident that not only is this being well spent, but it's on a priority. So I'm not doubting that this is a priority. The numbers bear out that we tend to use at least 75 to 85% of that contract service budget every year, so it's being used. I just, maybe for the Board of Finance, when they get there, if you could supplement it with more details for them, because I know that they're gonna be having to make difficult decisions with regards to smushing the Board of Ed priorities and our priorities together. So I think every big ticket, six-figure line item needs to have that kind of backup. Any other questions on the Highway Division?
Most of this stuff went out for bid?
Anything over 12,000 has to go out to bid, so
12,500.
12,500. Okay. Moving on, absent any other questions, now we're in vehicle maintenance.
So again, I think the biggest jump here is a couple of step movements, not even no COLA included in here, but both staff have only been here a couple of years, so there's a step adjustment in there for each one of them. And everything else, you're gonna see remain relatively flat.
Our mechanic, I thought we had a mechanic retire recently or leave recently. Am I mistaken about that? No? Okay, this wasn't a mechanic.
School, but I don't think so.
No? Okay, okay.
Both,
2 years ago?
The chief mechanic's been here going on about 3 years now, and
Okay.
the assistant's been here 2 plus.
It's about 6 years.
That's why I was-
About 6 years ago, Kenny left the full-time.
Okay, okay. I'll start with my right this time for questions. Jamin?
What an honor. All right, thank you. I mean, the only thing I had noted down in here was the overtime wages. I mean, I could say that about every single one. I mean, overall, this department, you know, Public Works went up by 11%. We're gonna have to find something. I'm just wondering, I mean, I suppose it's cheaper than hiring yet another person, but is there something we could do with the overtime wages? Or is it smart? I don't know. I mean, I'm not in your boots, so I'm asking your advice here.
So, I'd rather have my staff stay around a couple extra hours than needed than send it out. In case in point, we just got an estimate to repair a truck, sending it out, it was $13,700.
Coming from the heater.
I spoke with the chief mechanic.
It's not my microphone.
Is this something we can do internally? He said, yes, we can. So $13,700. We spent $4,700 on parts, and we're gonna be about $2,000 in wages on it. So the net back, $7,000 savings back to the back there. So, I think we put that money there in the event we need them, and they did work last, Saturday on that truck to try and get it on the road quicker. You know, they certainly don't abuse the overtime, and, you know, when they need it, they'll give me the courtesy of a phone call and just say, hey, we really want to stay an hour or two tonight, because I got a couple plow trucks that are in pieces here, and there's snow tomorrow or 2 days out.
Do we have an actual number as to where we're at to date on over,
$14,167.
is where we're at today?
With mechanics.
Yep.
And a lot of that's because of the snow. You know, usually those big storms, when something will break within the first couple hours, something simple as a hose to who knows what. But certainly with the amount of storms we got this year, we got mechanics in there, much more than the past few years.
Okay, that'll do. Thanks yet again.
Again. Lou, as far as your mechanics, I know in the past, Mr. Salvatore can probably vouch for what I'm about to say. We had some mechanics that we're supposed to be on 24 hours call, shall we say, in bad weather. How has that been as far as getting them to come in? Any problems? Because we had problems in the past with some of these people who refused to come in, right, Tony?
I'll tell you, I find this funny, but the two mechanics, right? The younger gentleman would prefer not to have to come in, but he'll call, he does respond when we need him. So in a small storm where we only need one guy in the garage, the other guy, the chief mechanic's more than happy to come in, he loves the overtime. The younger guy has two young kids at home, he preferred family time, but again, the two big blizzards we had, I said, Ryan, I'm gonna need you. He said, no problem, what time? And he was there, and he worked 24 hours straight. So we've had no problems.
No, that's good to hear. That's, because I know what we had in the past, correct, Mr. Town Manager?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no
Thank you.
no problems at all out of the makers. We got two great guys in there.
Nice to hear. Thank you.
Ryan?
How many vehicles total do we have that these two mechanics work on?
I've heard a number of 100-plus plated vehicles. That includes trailer, anything with a park plate on it. And if you look in this, I always try and get a good handle on this. Two mechanics, the right number for all this equipment. And they'll tell you, if you talk to fleet professionals, it's 40 to 50 plates per individual. So I think we're close. We do also have, at least for the short term, an intern from Vinyl Tech in there now, because we restored the part-time wages to $10,000. Years ago, we had a relationship with Vinyl Tech, and we got away from it, but now they reached out to us, and we took advantage of it this year, and hope to take advantage of it again next year. We got a very capable young man interning with us as we speak. He does 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. When he's in shop, he's here, and when he's in classroom, he has to go to school.
Yeah, because I noticed, I'm just looking at contracted services. Is that just specialized stuff that we can't do in-house, or is that sometimes we can't keep up with stuff, so we sub it out? I mean,
I think it's both. I think
due
it's
to number of vehicles?
Historically, we were more reliant on it, because the staff wasn't, I'll say, current on training, and sometimes they would just rather send it out and not deal with it. But again, we've got two great technicians in there, and they're quite confident, so less reliant. There still are, I'll say, like, the sweeper's pretty specialized, and when that thing needs repairs, we send it out. It's pretty specialized, and but for the most part, there's not many jobs that these two guys are backing away from. If they're pretty confident, and they're pretty capable, so. As I just explained, we got one truck that you guys wanted to send out for $13,700, and we bought $4,700 worth of parts, and it'll be on the road in 2 days, so.
So we're comfortable with 40,000?
Yeah, that number was more years ago. I backed off of it. And you could see, I think the 41,000 we spent last year was, we got quite a bit of work done on the sweeper late in the spring last year. We had some problems with it. But you look the year before, 28, hopefully we stay under that. The flip side is you're probably gonna see more in parts, because we're taking on more work ourselves. So if we run short, like in the supplies, or we can always take out a contracted services if need be. But we're holding, this budget, it really hasn't increased much over the years when parts and everything went through the roof, so we're remaining relatively flat, except for the wages there, and we've been able to keep everything on the road, so.
Okay. Any other questions, Brian? Paula, any questions? I had a couple questions. So, again, with the contracted services, what are we at for contracted services to date for this fiscal year for this department?
We're at, what do you got, 80%?
Yeah, that's what the comment was,
Yeah.
yeah, 80%.
What is the overall total, I know you break it down by by division, but Public Works contracted services, we talking like about $1 million of your budget is contracted services about? No. No? Okay. The reason I ask is because I'm really struggling with the contracted services because there's just not backup for them, for some of them. Like, I understand that we're using it, but it seems to fluctuate so wildly from year to year. You know, one year it was 28, one year it's 41. So is it just every year different things come up and we need different contracted
This is
services?
stuff that they either can't do, a transmission.
Okay,
They don't do a
sure,
transmission.
correct,
So-
yeah.
So, you know, there, a couple of years ago, we lost a transmission, there was 4, 5, 6,000. A couple of years ago, like I just said, I know the 41,000, I know the significant part of that is we spent like, I can't remember, 13, 14, 15,000 on the sweeper in, one spring, maybe 2 springs ago, right?
Right. So if we don't need to spend it, we don't spend it.
So right now, if you see what's spent versus what's encumbered, there's probably a little bit of a variance because we have a PO in place at the transmission place, just in case, you know, one of the trucks has a problem and we wanna get it towed up there and get it looked at right away, rather than have to park the truck, get a PO in place and waste it, you know, a day or 2 or 3.
Okay. And then with regards to this one, there was a small equipment purchase and a capital purchase, but there's no support for either. So what's the small equipment, what's the capital item? There's no attachment.
This year, he's asking for an air jack, and he was working on getting it back up, but he made some phone calls, and he thinks that he came up with $3,300 and some odd dollars, so I thought the $3,500 was a solid number.
Okay, and then for the small equipment?
Small equipment is just that, all little tools they may need during the year, you know, replacement, and if, you know, like old drill is no good anymore, or, you know, some new tool they may need, there comes available.
Okay. So my only word of encouragement here is if there's gonna be, the small equipment I get, with the capital item, if they're gonna be requesting capital items, maybe we start our process a little earlier in the fall so that they can get us quotes by the time we get here. Cause I'm assuming that he or she knew that they needed an air jack in December or November, and, you know, here we are in March and we don't have a quote for it. Again, we're gonna have to go out and justify, taxes are gonna go up because of this budget. Somebody's gonna say, you know, oh, then the vehicle maintenance department bought something, what'd they buy? It's not in the binder, it's not in the public accessible, you know, documents. So it's just something for us to be cognizant of. Again, I'm not doubting the need, I'm not doubting the veracity of what the staff are telling us. I wanna support the staff members, but we have to have a little bit of backup here. Okay, any other questions for this department? Go ahead, Mr. Waters.
Lou, you hit on something which I appreciate, is the tools that the town buys. I know at one time, the mechanics, we're gonna go back a few years, the mechanics had to supply their own tools. And I brought it to the Board of Selectmen at the time, that if we lose the mechanic, we have no tools. And at that time, they started putting money aside for tools. That's still happening, correct?
So, yeah, so most of the tools now up there, I'd say, belong to the town, the majority of them do. When we get a new mechanic, if they bring some of their own personal items in, you know, they record everything and show.
Write us an inventory.
Write us an inventory so that when they leave, you know, if we can go up there and make sure they're taking
That-
theirs.
Does anybody monitor that?
That's just a question I was gonna ask. Are you maintaining an
I'm
inventory
not
on
saying
it?
anyone's dishonest, I'm just
No,
saying, does
you're right.
anyone,
Tools,
checks
tools
and
have,
balances?
tools have legs and walk away.
Highway foreman should be monitoring, because technically, these 2 people work for the highway foreman.
They don't have much up there, it may be a couple few items, most of the, at this point, and certainly over my 11+ years here, most of the tools up there. I think when I got here, the Kenny and Joe, when they were here so long, they had a lot of their personal stuff in there. As they both retired, most of the new staff is comfortable with the tools that the town has, with a few exceptions, that they have a few of their own little gadgets and devices. And maybe they bring them in for the day, like they, oh, you know, something comes in, and I got that at home. We won't use it often, I'll just bring it in. So,
Thank you.
One other question I had in this division, then we can move on. I know we have the fleet software, tracking software that was launched in October of 2025. Will we be able to get that full asset and fleet inventory through that programming that we're using?
Thank you.
I think they're getting, I asked this question today, because I was up there. So he's behind, he's got a binder with about 25, 30 repair orders that he has to input. The other glitch I think we had is, he gave admin staff in here a bunch of binders to load, and I found they made a mistake with something, and she owned it. And so a lot of it may have to be redone. The other thing we just did is we worked with Sharon and we came up with we didn't have a labor wage that we agreed on. So we took the average of the two technicians' wage and added 25% to it for fringe benefits. So a lot of the data he had in the workbooks, they just logged parts. They didn't necessarily put 2 hours, 3 hours. So today, moving forward, we'll have better data. 12 months from now, we'll have a lot better data than we'll have now. They're working now on trying to get in the last couple of years. They can write the parts in the, they can write my car, 2CW, did 2 oil changes, did a brake job. And if they had to, they can type in the part number for the brakes and say the brake pads cost X, Y, or Z. The rotors cost this. To the best of his ability, when he has time, and again, because they've been so busy up there with all his funds and repairing equipment, he's gonna put some effort in a few hours a week into going backwards and trying to plug that data in and fill those gaps in. They're using it,
How about,
they're
we'll
learning
give you a
on it.
status report in June.
And
Okay.
I think 12 months from now, you'll have a lot more data than you may have now.
Let's shoot
No, I'm
for
being
6,
honest, I was
let's
up there
shoot for
today.
6 months.
Okay.
See if we give you a status report.
Yeah, that would be helpful, because I know we on this council have been asking for an asset management program, and as well as even just an asset list since at least December of 23. I think it was one of the first things we asked when we did the department by department presentations at the beginning of our term. So please try to continue to make that a priority so that we can try to, have a better handle of these things, especially since we have an asset and facilities committee now. We want to get that data over to them so we can try to start figuring out what we need to buy and when. Okay, barring any other questions, I'm just gonna make a general comment. I hate to nitpick, but I just happened to turn to the next department, building maintenance, and for all of their capital items, they have specific quotes that are printed out and everything else. For everything that they're asking, and the other department had quotes for everything they're asking. I'm hesitant to approve a capital item without some kind of backup, but again, maybe that's another thing you can supplement for the Board of Finance. But I just have an issue with that. There doesn't seem to be consistency department to department. Building maintenance, Mr. Gillenheimer has all of these printouts and quotes and emails that he supplied, and then this other department doesn't. I mean, he's,
Who's supposed to provide it?
it just makes our job hard when there's inconsistencies like that.
We'll have it for the Board of Finance.
Thank you. Building maintenance.
So you'll see, we're asking for an increase in the contracted services based on a couple things. The past couple years' history, you'll see 1 year we far exceeded the 160 or 150 that we had. And also, I got a lot of backup from him. He's anticipating a lot of increases in we have contracts with an elevator service company, our HVAC contractors, you name it. We got a lot of contracts in place in this division, and he seemed to think that they were pretty firmly committed to a few percent here, a couple percent there. So, and the other thing he's been doing the last few years is putting out fires and things have been, we've been fixing things ASAP as needed, so, there's a little increase there. He did ask for a part-time employee that, got cut out already, and, everything else, it's just, anticipated few percent increases.
Start with my left. Paula, any questions on this budget? No. Brian? Mr. Waters?
Equipment, contract services, that include the sliding doors, the electric sliding doors?
So contracted services, yeah, could be repairs for that as well, yeah.
Because I know at the senior, when they get off the bus, come through that door, I mentioned it already once before,
We looked at it the day.
never got fixed.
We looked at it the day after it was broken.
No,
We
what-
did the
back
tour.
door.
Yeah, we did the tour with the facilities
I
committee,
gave it to
and we
him
looked at it.
in real time, and he said he said occasionally it may jump the track, but it's not a regular occurrence.
Okay,
I'll have the discussion with him again tomorrow.
take a listen
I
to
haven't
it.
seen it jump off the track, and I
No.
went in and out that door probably 4 or 5
Does it sound like it's okay to you, or,
I think occasionally, like now, this time of year, whether it's salt or sand, get on people's boots, can get stuck in there, and maybe sweeping it and cleaning it out.
Wear and tear.
Yeah.
thank you.
What I did, when we went to the city recently, and I haven't noticed, he said he checked it out, he didn't notice any problem. This is, Gilhammer's actually not here now, I mentioned that, Kevin is assistant.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Hennahan?
Just a quick one on replacing all remaining lighting at the town hall. When do you think, what's the time frame on that?
So that did not,
That was cut.
that was cut
It
when
was
I,
cut.
Yeah, but it's just being, that a program we're working with,
I
Eversource.
had a company come in that's, a company that was approved through CCM and Eversource to provide some potential grant money. There's 3 upgrades, lighting, something to make the HVAC, the chillers more, say 20% on your bill and blah, blah, blah. And it's something that's, you don't need money up front. There's 0% financing through Eversource, and the return, you pay for itself in your electric bill. Your energy bill will stay flat for the next 6 years, but the $2,000-ish, $2,200 a month to save goes towards repaying for the upgrades, and then you realize the savings at that point. They sent us a proposal, which we didn't sign yet, but I plan on it, after presenting it to the town manager. Before it becomes binding, Eversource's engineers review to make sure that their recommendations and their data is accurate. And if at that point we're satisfied that there's potential to get the upgrades for free and save money, and we choose to sign it, it will become binding. But no, it's cash neutral, there's no expense because
Oh, okay.
it's incorporated through the energy bank in your electric bills every month.
So whatever may have been in there,
Well, they're proposing $230,000 or $40,000 worth of upgrades. About a third of it is grant, $78,000, $75,000, $80,000. And then the other 2/3 that you have to pay for, you don't have to pay for up front. You save 20-some odd hundred a month on your electric bill, and hence it'll be paid off in 5.8 years.
So we're gonna get it done.
Less than the life expectancy of the upgrades.
So the 70,000, 1/3 of what they're proposing was 70,000 in the, I'm forgetting the third one. One was HVAC, one was, and the other one is, it's on my desk. Oh, I keep forgetting, but it's in there.
that's not gonna happen this year, this year.
The lighting?
Yeah.
If Eversource's engineers tell us that it's a bona fide and that their proposal is accurate, it could happen this year if we sign it.
Reminds me,
But we don't need money for it, we won't need to appropriate
Right.
money.
That's why I cut it.
so you don't have to, yeah, okay. It sort of reminds me of the Eversource.
However, going
lights
the
in
other
town.
way that I know you wanna go, if you look at,
There's a typo,
there's a typo under general supplies,
Okay.
supposed to be 40.
so we have to add 36,000.
Oh,
Bring
wonderful.
your total to 7,755.
775, is that what you said?
Oh, 40,000.
40,000 total.
Yeah, it's 40,
775,743.
but it got recorded as 4.
Okay.
And then it brings your total public works budget
I was gonna wait till the end, because we may make some movements.
Sure about what?
Yeah,
Are we sure about what?
am I plugged it into my spreadsheet.
So the total, if you add up wages and overtime and blah, blah, blah,
Hang on. Yeah, so you got 489, 25, 160, 10, 1500, 40, 40, 35, and 65. And if you scroll down, that goes to 775, 743.
that's bizarre, because I did the same thing on my calculator and it matched what was there. I don't know.
No, 775, 743.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make a note of it, and then at the end, we can,
Yeah,
I did, I checked all the pages.
great.
Okay.
we corrected the division, you can, when we get back to the
I can give you
main
the
total.
total.
Yeah, okay, so perennial questions, that I've asked now in every department. I'm sorry, did I finish going to my right? I didn't finish going to my right. Oh, no, I'll finish going to my right.
All right.
Jack,
All set.
Ms. Hulick.
I mean, not that I want to add something that was cut, but is there a concern that by eliminating a part-time person, we will incur more of the overtime costs over
We're
time?
not necessarily eliminating, we had one a few years back that got eliminated years ago, and he was requesting to restore that. His concern and his justification for it was, guys are out there repairing something out in the field, whether it's at the highway garage or one of the park buildings or anywhere, and they gotta come back and do setups and kind of unskilled stuff. So what they were asking for was, a 19.5, keep it up part-time, so say 4 hours a day, have someone in the building that can tend to the non-skilled, and then he can keep his staff, if they're off painting something, they have to break down to come back and do setups. Sometimes it's on their schedule, like they're my rec, and they know it, they'll do it in the morning before they go. Sometimes it's, the room across the hall is reserved at 9 to 10:30 for something, but they need a different setup before noon. So they're in the middle of a job in the field, and they have to, one or two of them have to come back, and he was trying to avoid that, so that he could be a little bit more proactive on some of the upkeep of facilities.
Let's put it this way. I cut it.
I know.
Plus, the Parks and Grounds, fifth employee, when I negotiated with the union, that person's allowed to come over and work.
That worked out well this winter, so last year you guys did approve, an extra full-time guy, and,
Negotiations allowed us to
when we
send
started
him
our,
over here.
when we started our leaf collection in November, I moved him from Parks to Highway, and then when Highway was done with the leaf collection, middle-ish of December, I moved him over to building maintenance, and he's still here until the snow melts on the fields. But it actually filled a void this winter because we had a medical and workers' comp injury in building maintenance, so that worked out. But that doesn't give him the extra body the other months.
You're utilizing.
He's very busy.
Mr. DeProto.
Nothing yet, maybe come back to me later.
Okay, so my perennial questions that I've asked for every budget, every division that I've sat through so far. Talk me through the contracted services and talk me through Mr. Gillenheimer's capital request. What did he request and what was approved out of these? I see a bunch of different attachments.
So, contracted services is fire equipment service, fire equipment repairs, testing and monitoring, alarms, upgrades, NJ Daily, sprinkler fire suppression, Hartford elevator, East Coast energy generator repairs, and I'm missing some, advanced air quality duct cleaning, JAC Technologies, fire tech monitoring, a new fire alarm, Series East Coast, and there's, basic pest control.
Yep.
Property management, restoration, you name it, they maintain the gas pump, so we got a contract with, for the fuel management system.
HVAC?
Put POs in place, HVAC, Tucker Mechanicals, and just general putting POs in place, little POs in place. Lighthouse Electric, if we have an electric repair that's bigger than their capability.
And you're reading off of a list?
So,
Is that part of the binder?
Just to add, about 8 years ago, the council asked me not to have all this information in the budget and to present a budget, basically, the format that is presented now before the council. And a lot of that was eliminated. Were you here? No,
With Mary Ann.
you were here.
What, were you here?
She wasn't finance director,
Yeah.
she was assistant. So a lot of that was in this body asked that be removed and go to this format which we developed.
Yeah, listen, the format's fine. I just think that the list that Lou just read answers 90% of my questions. So even if it's just like, you know, how we have,
I can definitely go back to that, and again,
Well, no, we're not gonna go back to that.
now, moving forward, if
Yeah.
you like. So in years past,
If we
we had all
provide
that
you,
stuff.
at the time that we're before you, the information,
Yeah.
that's what they were looking for.
correct.
So at the time you're before them, what you just did is sufficient.
What I'm looking for is the ability to be able to justify.
We can answer those questions, or
Yeah.
should be.
Correct. Okay, and then moving on to the capital item, I see he has a couple different requests. He requested 15,000, it's being recommended for 6,500. So which one of these made the cut?
He requested 2 items. He requested a new Fisher's V plow for his Mason dump, which did not get approved, and he also requested $6,500 for a Tenet T2 floor scrubber for the police department. Currently, they don't have one there. It's a pretty big bulky item, and when he has to scrub the floors, give it a deep cleaning area, you have to drive up to the highway garage, load it up, move it back and forth. So he was requesting a floor scrubber to have in the PD.
The V plow is cut and the floor scrubber is in.
Got it, thank you. Okay, go ahead. Mr. Whitmore.
I was gonna say, the price quote on here is much higher than what you, sorry. The price quote you have is higher than what you've requested, I think? Does it say 8,500?
No.
You might be looking at the V plow.
No,
Brady Plus, I think, is the one that is the lowest.
That's correct.
Brady,
It's the middle of the three, or the second page. Brady Plus quotation.
sorry,
$6,488.28.
oh, okay. And that's the same, oh, okay, so it's the same thing, all right, never mind.
Great. Any other questions in building maintenance?
I do.
Mr. Waters?
Lou, streetlights.
Yep.
Who does that fall under? Okay. Something,
If I may say though, not in this budget.
okay, well, I have to ask a question anyways, reference.
It will come up under, utilities,
Public Works, general,
34.
two budgets from now.
Then I'll hold off.
Okay. Moving to the next item is Parks and Grounds.
So again, like the other ones, well, you'll see the wages went up because we incorporated the 5th full-time position after last year's budget was approved. And you will see a reduction in, part-time wages to offset that plus. field painter we leased last year, that's a significant part of that. That worked out very well for us, it took a lot of pressure and brilliant off staff. I'll use the football field, for example, we would have a crew of 3 or 4 on there for 4, 5, 6 hours, and now we have one guy out there and watch the robot do the work for a few hours, so it frees up the staff to go attend to other programs or functions.
Plus, it looks professional.
Alrighty, any questions? I'll start this time to my right with Mr. Henningham. I'll throw off the order.
No questions.
Okay, Ms. Hulick. Mr. DeBroto.
So you said the wages went, okay, so I'm looking at town manager recommended, it says 356 and change, and then actual, or sorry. Yeah, so, was it last year you spent 286,560?
So.
You said
so
you
again, we
shifted
added a
somebody?
5th position
Okay,
that wasn't
okay.
in last year's budget. That got done last May after the public referendum. We came back to the council and asked to convert a couple of seasonal positions to a full-time one.
Yeah, okay.
So you'll see a big jump in your full-time, but again, look at, 119 for part-time wages last year, and we're down to 51.7.
Okay, and then what got cut? You have a department request for 19.
Which one is that?
You have a capital item for 19 was requested.
So there were 2. There was, he had asked for a utility trailer for 7,000, that got cut, and he asked for stand-on aerator for 12,000. That was when you cut it, yeah.
Okay, so,
Do we currently have an aerator?
Excuse me?
Do we currently have an aerator?
Yes.
We do. I mean, it's in working condition, we're looking to replace it, or?
Yes.
All right, and then I'll leave the contract service question for the
no,
mayor.
take it.
All right, all right.
It's all yours now.
All right. Well, we gotta, anyway. Yeah, I mean, you see these jumps, I mean, let's see, this department, Parks and Grounds went up by 16%. I'm just wondering, if there's some,
Last year, I think the last 2 years, so go back a few years, this division, I don't wanna say they were underfunded, but there was so much we made so many improvements over the years, and we tried to put them in a better position to be able to keep up with the demand, the public. Letting fields are important to the public and the residents, so, again, you'll see contracted services, about 18,000 of that number is the robotic painter. And I mentioned earlier, I took some mowing, maybe they were overtaxed or spread too thin a couple years ago. So we tried to get them the resources they need to be self-sufficient. And the last couple years, I think that, you see the difference.
yeah, generally the parks look nice. I mean, I spent a lot of time on the tennis court, so.
But if I can ask, where do you see, outside of the, adding, another employee? I don't follow you.
There's not too many big jumps in there. I mean, it's gone up the last 2 years in a row. I think this year, based on everything we did the last 2 years,
No, I'm just trying to understand what Tony's asking, that's all.
I'm asking, where do you see outside of the wages,
Well, contracted services went from the actual of 24 to 25 as 47 to the recommended of 74.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the
It's a
robot.
jump.
18,000 of it's the robot.
Okay.
Didn't we use that last year?
again got approved,
Make it even less.
that again got approved after the budget was, I think, approved last year, so we paid for some of it out of, the field maintenance account, and I forgot how we got that last year, but.
Okay, I mean, none of these are gotcha questions, just trying to figure out, yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to understand
Yeah.
where you think that, there's a significant increase.
If you look back
Well-
2 years ago, this budget has grown, this budget's probably grown bigger than any of the other divisions within Public Works, and I think for valid reasons. And I think now, based on, the feedback and the results of the last couple summers, I think we're
This is the biggest
closer to
center.
right in this division, and hopefully we don't see any more jumps.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I love what Mike does down there. I guess, I mean, I just went through and just looked at, to answer Tony, more generally, like I went through the first page numbers and compared this coming year's budget number with the previous year's final spend. You know, Public Works went up by 12%, engineering went up by 4%, solid waste went up by 18%, highway, we can get to all that later. I just, I mean, things go up and down. I'm just trying to figure out where we can get things to go down.
I don't know about down, but yeah.
I'm a dreamer.
Okay, so now I'll move to my left, Mr. Waters.
All I can say is the Parks Department did one hell of a good job, and, whatever we can do for equipment for them that they need, it's well-deserved. That's all I can say. Other than that, that's it.
Mr. Bonneau?
I think my only concern really is the floater. I mean, I know that the council approved a full-time position for Parks Department that has now been changed to a floating guy. What is the anticipation of him going back to Parks, and for what duration?
No, he's only a floater during the winter. As soon as, they start doing the fields, he goes back to Parks and Grounds.
As soon as the
He
snow
was only
melts,
taken away during the, winter months.
Okay.
so Mike in Parks had him until the parks closed and we got into the leaf collection, which is generally the week of Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
So he had him right through the end of the football season, and then historically, more than just one guy from Parks would help with the leaf collection. This year, we just took the two seasonals and the new floater, if you wanna call it that. And I probably would've put him back with Parks after the leaf collection if we didn't have the two medical leaves here in this building, but, my intent is fully, and I already made building maintenance aware.
And I did make the council aware of it, and I think, Mr. Mayor, you gave us kudos on that.
When the snow melts, later this month or the beginning of April, when the guys get on the field and field in earnest, he would be moved back until late November.
Okay, yeah, that was just my biggest concern, because,
Four full-time
Yep.
guys this winter that he's had every winter.
Okay.
Not down there.
okay, yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, I think with the addition of this guy, there has been, quite a noticeable, downtick in complaints. There's been a noticeable, improvement in the quality of the fields. I know that, there's been a lot more aeration and care for the fields, and that's the direction I want to go in.
And he's complimented our existing staff well, he's very knowledgeable, so he was a great hire.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay. Any questions from you, Paula? Okay,
Just a note, right, the other departments, we had attachments for everything they requested, whether or not it was approved or denied. Here, we don't have any attachments again, so it's not consistent, but that's fine. We can move on to utilities. Actually, while we're in park maintenance, has there been any more discussion about the Board of Ed staff member and what we're gonna do with them and where they're gonna be parked and whose budget they're gonna be in? And,
We just met with them again this week.
okay,
We actually had a meeting, and, we're presently in talks with our union because, we were informed during our meeting that the employee wanted to come over, and maintain all his benefits and rights, i.e. seniority, vacation accrual, sick accrual. So I had to go to our union, which he would go in, and, they have some concerns, as you possibly could imagine, and, I am going back to the BOE, with a proposal, to see if I can get the body, and then hopefully down the road, have it join our union, but, sure yet if this is gonna be possible.
And then with regards to, I know Board of Ed wanted to hire a second parks and, or grounds, or not parks, grounds person for themselves. Is that still in their budget, or did they remove that?
I heard it's a half,
It's a half position, I heard.
so.
Okay.
Because honestly, if it was a full-time and they were persisting, give us the money and we'll hire them, and then we don't have the problems that
Yeah,
we're.
exactly, okay. And then two other questions. Lou, I know you've been emailing with the person for the Rose Garden and the person for the Pollinator Garden. Is there any money built into this, for either of those projects?
No, I met with, Michelle for the Rose Garden last Thursday, I believe,
Okay,
last week.
yeah,
I showed her, when the snow melts, she's gonna wheel it off and get the exact dimensions of every quadrant, and, she said within a week or two of that, she'll have some type of proposal is what she would put in there.
okay.
Tony had said he may have an idea for funding,
Yeah, I didn't put the money in the budget, because I think I have a funding source, where we're getting funds. And we should be able to use it for, actually both those.
Okay, great.
she said within a couple of weeks of the snow melt, she'll have something to us, and we agreed that, it's something we try to get done probably the middle, third week of May, when there's no more threat of frost. So hopefully the funding's there, and we'll be able to get that looking good before the Memorial Day.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the goal is to get the Rose Garden done and then look at your.
Pollinators.
Garden.
Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, moving to utilities.
So utilities, again, I looked at the last 2, 3 years' budgets, and there's a website that Sharon's predecessor turned me on to a few years ago, and it says, kind of helps you guesstimate or estimate upcoming utility costs. So I just really took, based on our last couple of years' usage and a couple, 2% increase in payment on these numbers. No perfect science to it.
Okay, I'll start with my left, Paula.
No, nothing.
Mr. Brunel.
No, I think 2% seems reasonable.
Mr. Waters.
Street lighting. We own the lights, correct?
You do?
And you've got 150,000 from last year, now it's 165. Have we had to go out and change any of the lights at all on our, we do, excuse me, we have to maintain them. A lot of probably the council don't know that we had to buy them to get a better deal. And we have to maintain them.
So we just, for those of you who don't know, or haven't been here, we purchased them from Eversource in 2016. And in the spring of 17, so just about 9 years ago, we retrofitted them all with LEDs. That did cut our street light expense down to about a third of what it used to be, 30%, 33% of what it used to be. The downside to that is the fixtures are guaranteed, they say they don't burn out, they either fail, some of them fail because they're faulty, but they never really burn out, they kind of dim over time.
They fade.
Do we know what that life expectancy is? No. I do know that they guaranteed them for 10 years. So if they fail at 8 years or they dim out, they give us a 20% credit. So with that said, Sharon puts aside a few dollars of that savings every year. You know, we're coming upon the time next year to get into a replacement cycle based on the 10-year guarantee. So that's what, you know, I was starting to work on. With that said, the company that I just mentioned, with building maintenance, lighting improvements, there's a program for just this with Eversource as well. So we're gonna sign the proposal for the upgrades here, the cost neutral ones. If the Eversource engineers validate it and they say it's legit, and we're gonna say they have one for streetlight programs. So we've been saving money for the last 10 years.
We do have 424,000 in that special account to purchase streetlights.
So if we decide to do 25, 10%, 25%, 50%, or all of them at once, between what we have in the kitty and what, we'll see what type of grants and 0% incentives are out there. If we we see them start to dim, like if you go on the highways, you see some blue ones, they didn't buy them that way, they're going out over there. So, here's the good news, LEDs even over the last 10 years have evolved, you can probably buy a smaller lamp and save even more on your electric bill that will be just as bright as these were 10 years ago. So it's gonna be a 10-year cycle, every 10 years, you're gonna have to dip into some of that savings, hope that there's a program out there and replace them. But we do save we did save for the last 9 years about 70% on our electric bills.
Now, does the replacement just, I mean, for the most part, just entail a bulb replacement? Or is this it's a whole fixture?
And when we did it 9 years ago, they were, I'm guessing, but I'll be close, about $350 a fixture. We have 1,300 or 1,400 fixtures out there. So you're looking at, $400,000 or $500,000.
So you're putting, you just say that you're putting money aside,
424,000 we have in a special account to purchase lighting fixtures.
okay, so where does this lighting, street lighting come into effect, the 150,000, may I ask?
Some of it goes into the bill, some of it's the bill.
Is that the electric expense?
Street lighting, right?
No, electric expense, the rest of it, town, police department, town hall,
Complete the whole town,
excuse me?
the
Yeah,
town.
Rest of the town.
And the 150 is, that is, or actually the 165,
So the 150 is just for the maintenance and.
Well, no, we take the 70 and we put it in the streetlight fund and the balance is for the Eversource stuff.
Okay.
so
the
we're,
150, last year, and just remind me, we take 70,000 a year and put in that replacement account, maintenance account.
Yeah.
The rest pays the streetlight bill.
so,
So we're gonna need, I think about, 1.1 million or give or take when, we go to replace.
excuse me, are we replacing them ahead of time or as needed?
As needed.
So that's kind of a high figure,
I said if we were to replace them all
Right.
at once, but.
but we're
given-
not gonna be though,
No.
Well, how many lights are there, you said?
100 something.
Yeah.
At $350 a piece?
9 years ago, they were 350,
Oh, all right.
so whatever they are now, I don't know. If they're $500, you're looking at $700,000.
So do we need that $150,000 if it's a probably, but not a guarantee? Or just being, shall I say, the way I learned it many years back, plate money?
What money?
Plate money, plate,
Plate?
yeah. Have the money there in case?
Again, this was, I picked this up back in 2015. This is what was approved and put in place. With the intention, you know, we got the job done. It was started, and, as I said, Dave, council then, I don't know, you were on it. Tell
Yes.
me what's-
I'm just wondering, what,
Why did they put 70,000?
What do-
I think that's what was recommended.
what I don't understand is what are we spending that money on? Like it says actual expenditure 24-25 was $159,687.
This
Was that for,
70,000 of that was put into the maintenance and
kitty,
future replacement account. So, she said there's a balance of 400 and some thousand.
okay,
So that's the accumulation of putting $70,000 in there all these years, minus expenses. So if a lamp post
gets
needs
hit
to be
or,
replaced,
right.
a fixture fails, whatever isn't warranted, you know, we have a vendor that manages them for us, and, you know, car hits a pole and our fixture has to be replaced or repaired.
And then the rest of
Tony,
it
can you
was
check your mic?
And the
Can you
rest
check the mic?
is electricity. So if we spent 159,667 last year, it's safe to say if we put 70,000 in the maintenance account, the electric bill was 89,667.
Lou, just for a second, if you could just go to that mic to talk,
because that mic isn't working. I just got a couple texts from people at home. Sorry.
It's the same mic. The same mic.
No, the mic, the mic that's at the, like, come to the dais, like, come over to that, next to Paula. And just press the little light up button to light on up. Thanks.
I think we got technological upgrades.
So let me just make sure I understand this with the street lighting. So this is, we've just been talking about replacing, upgrading, maintaining.
70,000 a year goes into the maintenance account, and that maintenance account covers any expenses we have during the year. We
Yep.
replace a fixture, add, occasionally the police chief is the one, if a resident is concerned that a dead end is too dark, and the police chief will recommend adding a street light or two. If he does or she does over in the past, then I'll call the contractor and say, give me an estimate to tie it in and put the two fixtures up. They give us a price, if we approve it, they hang them. That comes out of that 70,000 a year. She puts aside with the balance of $420,000. The rest is the Eversource bill for lighting of the streetlights.
Got it.
That's what's in that 159.
And why does it go up 15,000 this year? The street lighting actual fund, it goes from 150 to 165, is that because historically the last 2 years it's been above 150?
Yeah, it's been above 150, and they said estimate a couple % increase, so I wanted to make sure that, you know, I mean, if you see, we spent 155 and 160 respectively. I'm hoping 165 is enough. But
Are we doing anything to encourage electric conservation, like automatic lights in rooms, turning off lights when the rooms aren't being
We
used?
have automatic lights.
We have all that in here.
Okay.
We have all that in here, and these streetlights are activated by photocells, so, you know, they go on when it gets to a certain level of darkness, and they obviously go off in the morning when the sun comes up, so they're not on any earlier, or they shouldn't be on any later than they need to be. If you see one on during the day, it probably needs a new photocell, and again, that's what that account is for, to replace that type of stuff.
Okay,
Well, my question still is,
thanks.
sorry. We got $165,000, so you're saying $165,000, $70,000 goes into the kitty for the
Yes.
future? What happens to the remainder? Where's that being used?
It's for the bill
It pays the electric bill every month, for the lighting of the streetlights, that account.
and the maintenance.
Everything streetlights comes out of that account. That covers our expenses to light them, that covers repair, and that covers future replacements as needed.
If needed.
Eventually, they will be needed, but
But not all at
and
once.
rather than come in here and say, I need $1 million or 800,000,
That's if all the lights get blown out. The chances are that, not.
well, more than likely, they'll all fade at the same time, so you'll have less lumens in the town, and then whether we decide to do 10% a year, 25% a year, or do them all at once if there's a program, whatever source, and take advantage of it. Hopefully, at that point, we won't have to come back for a big appropriation because of that account there.
So the remainder of that 165, after 70,000 taken out, goes towards the electricity bill.
Correct.
Okay. Going to any other questions on utilities? Okay. So now we're at the end of our public works budget, right? CNR, okay, so we will go and do CNR. Can we just take a 1 minute break, or 2 minute break, just for facilities?
As long as you're not getting on the phone.
No, I'm not, I'm just gonna go,
There's 3 seconds.
no, I'm just gonna go use the restroom, so. We'll, okay, well, okay, we're gonna adjourn, not adjourn, we're gonna go on a break at 6:29. We'll be back in a minute or two.
Fill out a pass.
Got less than a half an hour here to go.
Is this where we start putting ads in the street, monetize things? If you want to put it right. You want to look at my book too? Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you did your work. So
That means tomorrow's gonna be so long.
Let's fast track CNR, I don't wanna have to come back.
I know,
I will if I have to.
I don't need to.
I will if I have to, but.
Hey, Lou, can you please sneak somehow green lights on that bucket
I'm
truck?
putting it on the bucket truck before the end of June, how's that?
No, really, 'cause it,
I will,
Christmas lights I'm not using, I just took them down, I'll give it to you.
they do work good,
oh, yeah.
they do work good, but the ones on there now are bright, and I mean, we haven't, thank God, we haven't had any issues, I know what you're saying, your worst case scenario.
Well, I see it on the main street when they're up there, and cars just,
I'll have them get a price on it, and then in April, May, if, with all the overages and snow and everything, but if we find.
it's cheaper to have the town employees go out there with a bucket truck, that's what we bought the truck for. We also wanted to, if it was a contractor, they're self-insured, we wouldn't have to worry about that.
I'll have them get a price tomorrow, and then at the end of the year, if we got money, we'll try to slip
When
it.
are we gonna get a snow blower for one of the trucks? We talked about it 4 years ago, remember that?
I'll tell you what, I'm glad, with the 2 storms we got in the last,
Should've, huh?
I'm glad we got the 3 payloaders, you know. I'm
But
glad
nothing
we
like,
had those.
nothing like the snow blower to load them.
I'd love to have one,
Yeah.
but the payloaders are fairly effective in it. You know, they're pushing all the heavy stuff, they're getting in the dead ends, they're moving snow out of the way during the middle of the
But a
storm.
lot of sight lines are interrupted,
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, that's what we do
A lot of
for a
guys
few
didn't
days.
push back.
A few days after all these big storms, that's exactly what we were doing, going out there and taking calls, hitting sightline obstructions first, and then removing snow from cul-de-sacs, and guys did a good job this winter, they really did.
Well, they did a good job. Hardly any curbs got hit.
Oh, you're starting to see them now that the snow's melting. You'll
They weren't up close
close
to
your
the
eyes the
curb.
next
Not
2
that
weeks
many
as the
though.
snow melts. I see them all over, not only here, in every town, on the state highways. This time of year, things loosen up, and if we get snow, they're gonna get dislodged, unfortunately. I don't care how careful you are, you're gonna occasionally kiss one, you know?
The guys that are roof, whoever does our roof,
No offense, but, we have a deadline.
25 minutes to go.
No, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, 25 minutes. What
We
time
can
is it?
continue them if we don't
25
finish them.
minutes to go, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so, let's go to CNR and then we'll go back to the overall.
Can we approve the public works division?
Yeah.
Shh.
No, Public Works Department, sir.
Department, got it. Okay, so, we were, we went over, some of the numbers. I have a couple of personal recommendations, although no one has to adopt them, and then, we can see what they are. So for solid waste removal, recycling division, while I appreciate the increases that are being anticipated, I think given the documentary evidence and kind of where we're at, I would recommend sticking with the current contracted service, adjusted budget and estimated expenditure for this year, which is 23,647. I know that's, $29,000 less, but I still think, we're at a point with this budget that we need to be making tough decisions, and I think every penny counts. So I think that they have not come to the full estimated expenditure in either of the past 2 years. So I think returning to this year's estimated expenditure of 232,647 would be my recommendation there. Do we need to vote on these individually as divisions?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my recommendation. I don't know if anyone wants to make a motion on that or
Very
feels.
good move.
Okay,
Very good
so Al, is that a motion to?
Motion to
Move- Okay, made by Al, seconded by Jamin to return that number to 232,647, which is the current year expenditure. So motion made by Al, seconded by Jamin. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstention, motion carries unanimously. Sharon, what is our new total for that department?
881,629.
So can I have a motion to approve?
You don't need
Oh, no, we
to-
don't, okay.
You don't need to do the
Okay.
division.
By division, okay.
What's the figure, Sharon? I'm sorry.
881629.
881,629.
Yeah, 881,629. I was just verifying the number, sorry.
For the highway division, looking at their actual expenditures, this one was a little more difficult. I think their contract services, one year was 317, their contract services the other year was 256, so I don't know if anyone wants to cut that one, or do we want to leave Highway Division alone? Under Public Works Supply and Materials, they didn't hit their supply materials, but I'll note there's a salt crisis and a material crisis, a shortage, so those prices may be going up, although they didn't hit the 250. So those were the two places that I thought there was some room for discussion there, but do we want to make any changes there or leave those two as they are?
So if I could just say this, Mr. Mayor.
I know, it goes into the capital non-recurring for the following year.
Well, no, not necessarily. We do interdepartmental transfers and do more road paving if he has extra money in his budget.
Okay, so,
Then the extra goes into CNR.
okay, so I guess we can, I mean, does anyone,
Well, I would remind, with all due respect for the winter, you know.
yeah, so we'll leave,
So-
we'll leave highway the way it is, given the winter we've had.
Thank you.
Okay. Vehicle maintenance, the only thing that we had talked about was there's no backup for that capital item that he wanted. I don't know if we cut it and then have him resubmit to Board of Finance and they can restore it, or if we just leave it in there and make a note to Board of Finance that we are waiting for backup for that, because we don't even have a quote on it.
I would recommend, sir, with all due respect, to leave it, and if he doesn't provide it, I'll make a recommendation to have it cut by the board.
I would suggest that we leave it in as well.
Okay.
At least it would expedite the process if we need to move in that direction.
Okay, and then for the next area of contracted services, this is Parks and Grounds. They're asking for 74. Last year, they spent 47. The year before that, they spent 59. I maybe think some type of reduction into contracted services based off of historic use would be reasonable. I threw out a number of 65, but if we think that's too low, we can make it a little higher, but they're not spending, they're spending 60, 70% of their contracted services, so it just seems like not a full utilization.
What was the number you suggested?
I suggested 65, that still gives them wiggle room for both of the last 2 years. 59 was the year before last, 47 was last year.
Have they picked up any other?
I'll just remind you that the robot wasn't in the last 2 years neither, and that's an $18,000 lease.
And that's
Oh, it's a
why-
lease,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it went up.
Yeah, that's why I
Okay.
approved it, Mr. Mayor.
okay. Okay, so we can leave that, and then the same thing with public work supplies. It went up, they asked for 50, the town manager recommended 45. I think that's actually, the last year's number was 39, so they're getting pretty close to that line, so I think we'll have to leave that as is. And then utilities, I don't really see where you can cut based off of electric costs going up, so I don't think there's anywhere else to cut, I don't know.
CMS, speaking, will the new CMS PV cell kick in? I don't know if that'll affect these numbers.
CMS, what's that?
Oh, I don't think,
So
we
the
don't, yeah, we don't get, that's in the Board of Ed budget, it wouldn't be ours.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so are there any other suggestions that folks have for this budget? Otherwise, I think everything else is coming in online.
Yeah.
Okay, so, what's the new, and then we have to add that fix that 40 in that one department.
Right, I did, yep.
So what is the, total, yeah, what's the damage, the total town council recommended for the total public works?
5,396,694.
Can you say that one more time, please?
5,396,694.
Okay.
That's with the added 36,000?
Yes.
Because they added, in one of the columns, they had 4,000 instead of 40,000, so,
No, they had 4.
yeah, they have
Yeah,
4,000 instead of
Correct.
40,000, so
Well, that's
we
what I
took
was-
away
that's what I was
30, we added 40.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just don't see where else we can cut based off of the past usage numbers. Everything else seems pretty close to where they're at and what they're actually using and utilizing each year. And costs we can't avoid and escalations we can't avoid.
Good historical representation.
Correct. So, okay, Sharon, one more time what that final number was?
5,396,694.
I'll accept a motion to approve the Public Works Department overall budget to the number Sharon just quoted.
Motion.
moved.
Okay, I'll give it to Brian and then seconded by Jamin.
Second.
Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously, I think, yes? Paula, did you say yes? Yeah, okay, unanimously, okay. Now CNR. Somebody just said to me, because that mic wasn't working, if you cranked the volume really high, you could hear the echoes of you from our microphones, but it's working now. So, okay, so let's go through our capital plan for Public Works. Now, I see that there's a number of items here that are being requested and recommended. Have these been placed in a priority order in combination with the Board of Ed priority items? I see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 items that are being requested for town CNR. And we have 17 items that are being requested for Board of Ed CNR. I know we're not doing them today, but have the 17 items from the town CNR and the 19 items from the Board of, town CNR been prioritized against each other into a master list?
Yeah, you have my, if you look at the sheet.
I have the Board of Ed one.
This one, and then they have the other one.
Yeah, so they know.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You see the ones that I recommend and the ones that don't.
Yep, but my question
Yeah,
is,
they're all ones.
they're all
Everything
ones.
that's coming to you is a one.
Yeah, so my question is, if we have a total of 40, we'll call it 40, 17 plus 19, 36 items, how do these rank with regards to these items, 1 through 36? Do we have that?
No, because they're all separate. They're all.
Okay, okay, we'll take them as they are. I think,
That's why we do each department separately.
okay. So, let's start with the Public Works Administrator. 2 requests were made, one for a SUV, which was was not recommended, and then a pavement management update, which was recommended. So we'll start with that.
The pavement management. So, as you know, every 5 years, over the last 10, since I got here in 2014, we had 2 of these done, and the recommendation is you do it every 5 to 6 years. The last one that was done was in 2021, I believe. And this 33,000 would cover the cost to have we would have to first put out an RFQ and qualify some firms, but once a firm was selected, it would give us enough money to get an updated road study, and they'd give us a pavement condition index on every inch of all of our roads. And it would also get us a new software program to use. Last spring, the company we're using wanted to double plus our subscription costs. And because we knew that we were due for an update within 12 months, we decided to say no. And, again, we use that program quite religiously for our road, rehabilitation, so I would recommend, I hope that you consider this one favorably.
Any questions on the pavement management software update for the next 5 years? Is this a one-time expense of the 33,000, or is it annual subscription?
So the bulk of it is a one-time expense, and there's probably a $3,000 to $4,000 a year maintenance on the software once we get it. This would cover it in year 1.
And is that software proprietary? I mean, I know the software is proprietary, but is the report proprietary, or is that listed on the Public Works website for people to review?
We can certainly list it on the Public Works website.
Yeah.
This is the 5-year update.
This is the
It's a
5-year update.
5-year update and the cost of getting a new program up and running for 12 months.
Okay.
So basically every 5 years.
So my recommendation is, especially as we're migrating to a new website, I think people should be able to see what they're paying for, and I think also it helps that people can look to see that we have an objective basis to actually decide what road gets paved next. So if we can put that on the new website when it goes live, so people can look at the map and see, okay, this is this year, especially since we're paying to re-up it, or potentially, depending on what the body does, re-up it, that'd be good. Okay, Any other questions on the pavement management? Okay, seeing none, are we gonna do engineering tonight, or are we gonna wait for John?
Engineering, if I could, you'll see, this is the only area where I added the number twos because of the minimal, expenses in those area. And, one of them, I do have a request before the state bonding, on the parking lot expansion. Not the tennis courts would be moved at a later date. And the other projects, the way to initiate grants, we have to be shovel-ready. And, this is what the attempt is by approving these projects.
So can you just explain the James Mann environmental study? Is that for the pond that's by the high school? Or what is the James Mann environmental, or middle school? What is the James Mann environmental analysis for?
That's the,
Says former highway department yard.
Yeah.
So what,
James Martin.
sorry, James Martin. You're right.
James Martin is the former highway yard that we need the money before we can move forward and attempting to get any, grants. Again, we gotta be shovel-ready. Yeah, no, I'm very well aware. It's gonna be a phase one environmental site assessment and, identify areas of concerns. And this would also allow us to then go for brownfield grants.
Okay.
Without having this done, we can't go
Go
for
for
brownfield
brownfield
grants.
That's important. And then Cedar Drive and Coles Road, that's been on our priority list for a number of years.
Do we get grant money for that?
We're looking at, lots of, right,
LoSiP for that?
that fund, yeah.
Okay.
We needed this money and then we were gonna use the
Yeah.
balance in low.
We need this in the balance we're using out of LoSiP.
Okay.
It's much more than 270 now.
And Lou, just to verify, this Cedar Drive and Coles Road drainage improvement was on, towards the top of our priority list when we numbered 1 through 10 them a couple years ago?
It was either one or two. But I think the PD and down here was one. This
Yep.
was number two.
Okay.
Because properties are being impacted.
Go ahead, Brian.
Are we getting grant money for this project then?
Or have we explored grant money for that project?
For Cedar Drive?
We've asked for it, we have not received any in the, past. We're gonna use, LoSiP money for that project,
Minus the 279 request.
minus, yeah.
Next on this list is the Phase 2 environmental analysis, 61 River Road. This is the old hardware store that's on River Road that is rotting away and looks awful.
No, this is the, well.
Yeah, the foundation, the concrete foundation that's on River Road.
Again, once again, in order to qualify for the brownfield grants, we have to, have this
Have this
done first,
environmental
and
done.
then we can, apply for the grants.
Is there any concern that, I think Phase 1 determined it was not contaminated, right? That was what Phase 1 determined?
So far, yes.
So far, great. And then the high school parking expansion and tennis court design, do you want to talk about? I know
That's the design, and we need that, especially if we get the grant from the state for the,
Engineering design for drainage and lighting improvement needs, now that the plan has been changed from the original. is
Yeah,
what's out
and
there.
I, just for some context for the counselor, for the council, we went to planning and zoning, 3 months ago maybe now?
Yeah.
With an updated overview of, that project to see if they had any initial feedback or thoughts for us. And, we received positive feedback, and now we need to actually do the engineering portion of it to move it from blue sky to something that's more viable. And I will tell you, we get a number of complaints from residents in those adjacent streets about parking of students. The sports games, if those are sports games and a concert going on, or, 2 sports games going on at the same time, that high school parking lot, the superintendent estimates is 100 spots too small.
the main concern that I have is
Yeah.
27. So, is it 27? Yeah, 20, right? What's the next presidential, 28, 27?
28 is the next presidential.
Okay. Problem we had last, presidential, was not
Correct.
sufficient parking, and they had a soccer, game going on
Correct.
at the same time. And, I questioned the superintendent on that, and
CICA.
So, again, the goal would be to definitely, hopefully have this all wrapped up, way before then, if we're successful in getting the state funding.
Yeah. You know, I'll note too that we have the single largest polling location by amount of registered voters in the state because our town is so small geographically. So I think that is one polling location for 10,000 voters, and the average across the state is much smaller. It's like one for every 5,000 voters. So we have double the amount of voters going to a single location, and I think the registrars have given us the numbers that we have a very active voter base in the town too. So, okay, so those are those projects. You know, we are about 9 minutes out of our end time. So,
One more, if I may.
yeah, let's finish that one.
The pump house and, the old, water district yard, both falling into disrepair. I came before you, if you remember, I was gonna try and sell it, try to
Yep.
cut a lot out of it. It ends up that the state owns, on the east side of the building, the state owns 1.5 feet off the building.
Railroad.
Okay, so we couldn't sell it to a private company even if we wanted to.
can't make a non-conforming lot out of that, and,
Can we just knock the building down?
No, we have to do the
we gotta do the environmental and knock the building down.
That's what that money
Is this money for both the demolition and the environmental, or just the environmental?
This is, the pre-demolition, and,
Asbestos survey?
I think he's taking, we're proposing the money because we're making an assumption there is no lead or, contaminants in the asbestos.
Yeah, what I want to note there is that's adjacent to a waterway with, that feeds into, I think, the Connecticut River ultimately, right? Does that waterway go all the way down? So,
Dead man's swamp.
yeah. Okay, so I just want to make sure that if we're going to tear down a building that's that close to a waterway, that we are taking the right precautions before we tear something down and don't know what we're opening up.
We would do the pre-demolition, which would be the testing.
Okay. That building's an eyesore, so I think it's, if we can't have it
Well,
restored
That's the problem.
to a
We
useful,
complain about blight in other areas of
correct,
town.
and then we have a blighted building ourselves, I agree. Again, so we're coming towards the 8 minutes mark. I doubt we'll finish the rest of Lou's items here. How do we want to proceed with the remaining capital items? Do we want to have Lou come back? Do we want to finish them Wednesday night during our regular council meeting and have it move to the first item of the agenda?
I can stay for
No,
4:30
we're here tomorrow night.
Oh, so we can, and Lou's coming back tomorrow?
I'll come back at 4:30 tomorrow if I need to.
Oh, so we can continue this till tomorrow then, because I don't think we should rush this. I just don't think we should continue. I don't think we should rush through the CNR items.
In order, we start at 4:30 tomorrow night.
Correct,
Mr. Spino will be back at 4:30.
to go over these.
We'll pick up with the capital items to let planning and zoning go ahead.
Okay, wonderful. Well, to the members of the public who are just joining us, welcome to the end of our budget hearing, day one. You're welcome to come back. Yes, very exciting. You're welcome to come back tomorrow to our next one, which is at 4:30 tomorrow, to hear about the rest of Public Works, the police department, and other town departments. So, you're welcome to come back and join us for that. But otherwise, I will take a motion to adjourn at 6:54.
Second.
Motion made by Al, seconded by Mr. DeProto. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, were adjourned at 6:54.